You're about to enter a padded room in a rundown building on an abandoned street in a world slightly askew from our own. The inmates who run this asylum can be heard on a never ending loop, reciting the twisted words of a shattered mind. One such inmate in the center of this asylum hopes by talking his psychosis into the ether, his statements somehow become fact. His incessant ramblings about balls not being deflated or an owner's happy endings never happening at all drive even the sanest man to be his future neighbor in the cell next door. He finds solace in the peace that only incarceration can bring, alone, away from the nagging voices of the outside world. As we leave this place, we lock the door and throw away the key to Casino's Corner.
That was really good. That was creepy. Do you write these?
I do. Write them from scratch. It is time for Casino's Corner, everyone's favorite segment in all of the Only Sports podcast and podcast just society in general. So please welcome to Casino's Corner.
All right, Casino's Corner. So I told you this week is going to be a little spooky. You want to know why?
Absolutely.
Okay, because we're not really talking much sports. We're talking some fun things about the spooky season. As my daughter yells at me, that's how we know we're getting close to the end of the show. And every time we try to do Casino's Corner. Anyway, so we're going to be talking Halloween costumes, right? All right. So I got some questions for you. But first off, have you been watching any of the professional athletes' costumes for the season? Have you noticed any? Have you been looking them up?
No.
Question you. Well, we got some good ones. So just real quick, we'll go with some basketball. So Rudy Gobert, he just wore a wolf mask. Cool. Timberwolves, get it. Fine. Just regular suit underneath. Giannis was Mr. Potato Head. Pretty cool. Jonathan Quick and Rempe, those are hockey players. They went as the elf, and they took a nice photo of him sitting up, Rempe being a young kid, sitting on Jonathan Quick, who's one of the older players in the league, sitting on his lap. Pretty great. McLeod the third for the Falcons. He dressed up as Cat Williams. If you haven't seen that one, check it out. Legit. He did a dang good job for that one. And I told you I'd talk about Dallas Goedert and how I think he's ready to go. He wears his wife, like from The Hangover. Yeah, so you see suspense there. So she got it. There's a video of her getting inside the sack, and he's carrying her around like that. I think he's strong. I think he's ready to go. Dallas Goedert there. Raekwon Smith as Lamar Jackson, which was pretty funny. I think that was very creative. Jared Goff and his wife went as Ricky Bobby and his lady. So that was my reference earlier when I said if you're not first, you're last kind of thing.
Foreshadowing. I love it.
Foreshadowing. Thank you. Myles Garrett went as the Terminator, which that mask, that took some time. It looks really good. Like that's not something you just bought on eBay. So that one's pretty great. One of my favorites, because it has to do with the Patriots, was Keon White. He went as Julius from Everybody Hates Chris. Really great. So he went as Terry Crews, and I thought it was phenomenal. And then you talked about the relationships between Gibbs and Amase Brown. Well, they went as the Spider-Man. So that's pretty great. They're both Spider-Men.
Pointed at each other.
They did. And so I think that's fun. I like always seeing the costumes. And the one that I thought was really, really funny, which is not an athlete, but he was imitating an athlete, was Macaulay Culkin. He did Joe Burrow.
That one I did see. Yeah.
That was really good. So my question to you, man, and I'll tell you mine, but I want yours first. Are you a spooky, a scary, or sexy, or gimmicky kind of costume guy?
As you can see from the costume I chose, all three. But no, I think with Halloween, it is always just funny, right? I think funny
like
trump
funny.
all.
Yeah. So I like the gimmicky, funny stuff. So I can appreciate the scary and the sexy. I don't really get the sexy. Obviously, whatever. When I was single, that was always fun. But spooky and scary, that's Halloween. If you can pull something off really good, go for it. But I've always liked the gimmicky. I think it's fun, especially when it's throwback stuff. So with that, I want to know, what was your favorite costume that you've ever done?
Favorite costume I've ever done. I honestly think it would have been the Shaggy that you
Nice.
saw on this podcast
Pretty all
a
right.
year
I mean, you look
ago.
pretty good.
I looked like Shaggy, and then my wife dressed as, Daphne, my son was Scooby-Doo, so I
Yeah,
like,
we're doing a
especially
theme one
now.
like this year. This is the first time we've done a family theme, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
So my favorite one I have ever done, and um, I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do it except for that year. One of my buddies, we didn't communicate about it. He was the same thing. I was Quail Man from the old show Doug, and it was phenomenal.
I do like Quail Man.
So I was Quail
That's
Man.
a
That
good
was one
pull.
of my favorites. So I mean, not one of my. That was my favorite costume that I've ever done. Yeah. So that was. I just wanted your take on that. If you haven't watched or seen any of those, if there was any other costumes from your favorite athletes or celebrities being athletes, let us know in the comments. Write it down. Let us know so we can check it out. But you should check out all those ones, especially the Macaulay Culkin and uh, McLeod, because wow, like the
Did you
Cat Williams one's really good.
the one I did see, which was creepy, did you see the Miles Garrett one where he dressed up as the Terminator?
Well, that's what I said. I
Oh,
said
you did
Miles
say that
Garrett.
one.
I said
That
Miles
one
Garrett
was
is Terminator.
weird,
Well,
man.
because dude, that wasn't like that's what I was saying. That mask was not bought on eBay.
No, that was like, yeah,
He,
professionally done. That
yeah,
was weird.
it
That was
was
creepy.
really really good. So yeah, check out those ones. But those were some of my favorite, as well as the Keon White as Julius from Everybody Hates Chris. I can't stand that show because the mom just bothers me so much. Like I get angry watching that show.
For
Uh,
some reason, that's my 12-year-old's favorite show. He's
oh, she
watched every episode. He loves Everybody Hates Chris.
I
Loves it.
don't mind the show. It's literally the mom and how she acts in that show. I just want to punch her in the face. So bad.